What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to break down my recent trade on NAS100 with you all. I want to show you all the reasoning behind this trade and how it applies to the strategies that I've taught on this YouTube channel for free in the past. So you're going to want to stick around till the end. Make sure you hit the like button, comment if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to my channel for future videos just like this. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So taking a look at NAS100 on the 4-hour time frame. This is what ended up happening. I'm not going to gatekeep this. This is how the trade played out. Now let's break down the reasoning behind it using the replay tool. And we'll go over exactly how I came to the conclusion of taking this trade setup. So first things first, I'm going to double click the indicator. This is the Currency Pros Golden Zone indicator, which is exclusive to our community members only. You want to enable the fib levels and show break of structure. So that's going to show us the exact trade setup that we look for that I have taught on this YouTube channel for free, guys. So we have bullish price action, break of structure to the upside, and the Fibonacci tool is automatically placed for us. Now I set my entry to the 75% of the Fibonacci range. You can obviously tweak that to whatever you want. You can set it to the 71, the 79, whatever you want to do, right? I prefer mine at the 75. Let's analyze the setup that the indicator is showing us, right? Because the indicator is programmed to do a very specific thing. That doesn't mean that every single time it prints a Fibonacci zone, that it's a perfectly good trade to take. We need to use the indicator as a tool so that it can show us potential opportunities, but then we need to use our experience in the markets based on the concepts that we've learned and apply that to the indicator and see if it really is an A+ setup. And if it's anything less than A+, we just wait and move on, waiting for the next opportunity to come. So let's take a look at this price action here and see if it's a valid setup to take. Well, it actually checks all of my boxes, right? So first things first, let's look a little bit to the left. There was clear bearish momentum, and then we saw a reversal. Now, this area right here is very interesting because this contains what I refer to as a liquidity grab. Some might view liquidity a little bit differently than me, but this is the way that I'm seeing this, right? So we had a low printed right here. We had a high printed right here, another low printed, and then price pushed up to the upside, creating a break of structure right around here. So that means I can identify this as the sell side liquidity purge, right? Because that was the last little poke through the previous low before price impulsively broke structure to the upside, shifting the sentiment in the market. So basically, if this were like a full body closure, that would be a bit more significant and maybe we wouldn't have seen this move occur afterwards. But typically whenever there's a wick closure like that, that means it's just a liquidity grab. So that's why I'm identifying this as the purged liquidity. And there was clearly a break of structure right here. Now there would have been a trading opportunity in this range as well upon this retracement. However, number one, that would be a little bit riskier. And number two, it doesn't look like it would have reached my 75% entry. No, it didn't. So it was just shy of my 75% entry. So that's not something I would have gotten involved with anyways. However, if you were targeting a lower zone, like for example, the 67 or the 62%, then you certainly could have gotten tagged into that position there. However, we focus on current price, right? So this is the range that I identified with the help of the Currency Pros indicator when I was available and at my charts ready to trade. So we've established that we've had a liquidity purge to the downside, right? Sell side liquidity has been purged. We had a break of structure to the upside that's showing the intention and direction in the market. And now we have a second break of structure printing here and a Fibonacci range, right? So the Fibonacci range is drawn from this swing low all the way up to this swing high. And we have the break of structure right here. Now, one of the most important things that I'm looking for is a significant imbalance. And as you can see, the Currency Pros indicator is showing that as well. We have the imbalance candle right here. And that's basically just the gap between this candle's high and this candle's low. So in between those two lines, you can see that there's a big gap and a very impulsive candle in between those two other candles. So imbalance is of course a 3 candlestick pattern. And that's one of the main things that I look for, because the way that I look at imbalance, or fair value gaps as most people call them, it is a draw for price to come back to. When I establish a Fibonacci range such as this, there's not an immediate trade, right? We need to wait for price to retrace back into our area of interest in order to take that trade. Spotting imbalance in or around the entry zone is basically a confluence that tells me there's a good possibility of price heading towards my entry zone, because that imbalance is drawing price in like a magnet. So with that being said, let me play price forward a few candles, and we can see that right there, I got tagged into my order. I'll show the execution proof on the screen as well, just in case there's any questions about that. I took this on a funded account, challenge account, as well as my personal account. So I'll show the screenshot of my personal account just to keep things as accountable and transparent as possible. What happened here, what day was this again? This was Wednesday that it got tagged in. And so this trade basically took 2.5 to 3 days to go to completion. So this candle right here, this big spike, that reached pretty significant profit. I believe that was during the interest rate decision. And so there's obviously a lot of volatility during that time. So it shot up pretty quickly and then came right back down pretty much towards my entry. However, I mean, a lot of people would get scared during a time like that, watching all of the profit go up and then watching it all disappear. Here's the thing though, when I enter a trade, I'm already accepting that risk. So whatever I risked, whatever my stop loss is worth, that's what I'm comfortable losing. Maybe I would have moved it to break even if I was more available at that time. I actually happened to be driving at the time where this occurred. Like I was out of my office, I was in my car. So I wasn't even able to move this to break even if I wanted to. Maybe if I was at my charts, I would have moved it to break even and taken a break even trade. However, in this case, it ended up working out for me because as I play price forward, you're going to see that it actually did hit the take profit on Friday with the help of NFP momentum. What I wanted to say though is, although most people would get very uncomfortable seeing those profits disappear, I tend to still have faith in the setup that I initiated in the first place. Like I came to my charts, I saw that setup, and I wanted to enter it based on my checklist of confluences and my strategy that I've been trading for so long now. Even though price went high up like this and then retraced all the way back to my entry, I still had faith in the trade. That's why I was willing to hold it. So I held it for a couple more days, knowing that the reasoning behind this trade, the framework behind the trade, logically makes sense. And I'm a very logical trader. I want things to make sense, right? So I try not to manage things and make decisions based on emotions. I try and do it as logically as possible because that's how I've found success in the market up until this point. And I've been doing this for over 6 years now. The point of what I'm trying to say, guys, is you have to trust your system. You have to trust the strategy and you have to let it play out. Now, to end this off, we now have a newly shown opportunity here. However, it's still underdeveloped. The indicator is probably going to continuously adapt this Fibonacci tool until price begins retracing and solidifies this range. However, if you go to the daily time frame, this is where it incorporates into some of the other videos I've made on YouTube, right? Using 2 time frames at once. So if we go to the daily time frame, the actual bias here should be short. The bullish momentum seems to be quite short term in comparison to the daily time frame. So what I mean by that is on the 4-hour time frame, again, there was 2 beautiful bullish buying opportunities right here, but that should be only short term, because if you anchor it to a higher time frame bias, such as the daily time frame, you'll realize that we are now entering very premium prices of this daily range right here, from this high down to this low. This is the daily range that we're currently trading in, and we're now entering very premium prices here. So that means it would be very unwise to take long positions at this point, right? Now we should be patiently waiting until it gets up to here and monitoring for potential reversal opportunities. So that would look something like this, right? So we should be monitoring for short positions now. So that's where it really comes in handy using more than one time frame. Now, I want to clarify that the strategy that I use is easily achievable on just one time frame, like the 4-hour time frame, for example. That's what I initially started teaching with this strategy, and that's what I was initially trading. However, just recently, within the past couple months or so, I've started to incorporate the daily time frame with it a lot more, and I'm noticing more consistency. More important than that, I'm noticing more clarity in my own thoughts and my own decision making. However, with that being said, it has been a rough couple of months for me. I've had a bit of a losing streak, pretty much just break even, because I'll take a couple losses, have a trade that knocks out those couple losses, and then I'll take another couple losses and then have a winner that knocks out those couple losses. So I've been a bit break even for honestly the majority of this year so far. It's been a little tough, but the thing is with this strategy, actually not even this strategy alone, like just trading in general, you can have a bad quarter, you can even have a bad 2 quarters, and then let's say in the 3rd quarter or the 4th quarter, you have a few good months in a row or something, and that can make up for all of it and more. When it comes to being a good trader and a professional trader, it's not about, week after week performance. It's what are your results at the end of the year, because there's obviously going to be fluctuations. There's different circumstances in terms of global economics, market phases, seasonal tendencies. There's all sorts of things that come into play. So having a losing streak doesn't necessarily mean the strategy isn't working. There's a lot of variables that go into that. From all the experience I have with this strategy in terms of live trading and back testing, I'm confident that the numbers do play out over time, regardless of if I have a bad month or a bad 2 months. I'm more focused on the macro perspective in terms of like end of year performance, basically. That knowledge allows me to be a lot more patient. Although I'm only human, I struggle with patience too. I don't think anybody is immune to the struggles that come with being a full-time trader. But I hope the insight that I just provided really helped you guys in terms of either dealing with tough times or just having more clarity in general with your trading journey, because it's not always sunshine and rainbows. If you stay glued to social media, you'll notice that everybody only posts their wins. And I don't blame anybody for that. I mean, when you post losses on social media, it doesn't get any traction. So I understand from like a more of a business perspective why certain people only share wins. Like I get that. But at the same time, it's good to be transparent. And within my community and with this YouTube audience that I'm speaking to right now, you guys listening, I'm very transparent and I always will be. So yeah, I haven't had the best start this year, but it's getting better. In the past years too, I've found that my most consistent months are during Q3. And so like I was saying previously, you can have just one good quarter and that can make up for an entire year of lackluster performance. You know, you can, when times are good, you can really adjust your risk management strategy based on that and really capitalize and scale things up exponentially. So it takes experience to learn these types of things that I'm talking about, but that's why I'm talking about them, so that I can hopefully shorten that learning curve for all of you listening. I hope I've accomplished that in some way. That kind of sums it up for this trade breakdown. It was pretty straightforward, very clean trade. As you can see, minimal drawdown too, so it was very nice. I like how quickly the indices move. I get asked very often whether this strategy works for other markets aside from Forex. And the answer is, of course, yes. I mean, the foundation of this strategy is literally buying low and selling high, right? So of course it works in every market. Like we're literally just buying low and selling high. We look at highs and lows in the market and we sell from extreme discount or extreme premium prices within the current trading range. So it's a very simplistic strategy. You know, there's nothing complicated about it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, please like it, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. I try and post every 2 weeks on this YouTube channel, and I really appreciate the support from all of you. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to follow me on Instagram too. I post a lot of updates there and share a lot more about, you know, personal life and things like that on my Instagram page. I'll put that up on the screen for you guys. And if you want to join the Currency Pros community, feel free to do so. The link will be in the description of this video. I'd love to see you join the family. We have a very wonderful collaborative space for like-minded traders, and honestly, everybody's just been thriving lately. So it's a really wholesome community to be a part of, and I hope to see you in there soon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.